And welcome to ESO Daily. I'm your host, Mr. Craven. Okay, so I had a pretty cool time yesterday checking out the content, the initial content that Dragon Bones DLC is going to be bringing. Really cool stuff. I'm really happy about it. But today I want to kind of go over a specific set, and that is the new healing set, the Jorvuld's guidance set. And to be honest with you guys, there's mixed emotions across the content creators about this set. This set is definitely game changing for healers. It's a set like this really is going to really impact healer builds in the future. A lot of people are thinking it's going to get nerfed, but I actually don't think it really is going to be honest with you, because of the way the devs actually designed the set. And I'll go over and get into this. Like, most of the time you're going to see a pair up with a set like this with sets like Spell Power Cure. Now, Spell Power Cure isn't necessarily the strongest healing set for a healer, but what it offers a party is why it's considered end game set with every combination for healing sets. Now, I've stressed that there needs to be a penetrating value set that kind of maybe throws off the necessity of Spell Power Cure, where other sets like Powerful Assault maybe need to be buffed up, right? Because then that kind of contends with maybe like a stamina version healer and try to maybe put more viability in some more unique build options. But this set right here, the devs did a really great job. It is really great. I played with the DK healer. I'm going to go ahead and also show you guys, what I'll make a warden. We'll kind of go over that in today's episode, because primarily what I'm known for in this game by majority of the community is healing. Now, this is why I'm saying it's not going to get a nerf bat in PTS, and why it most likely will stand to go live. It offers nothing except added duration to the buffs. It doesn't, modify those buffs to make them overpowered, right? If anything, the only real positive aspect to the set is giving the healer breathing room between the buff application and its healing. But unfortunately, because there's no primary stat attached to the set, like weapon damage, max magicka, spell damage, anything but the 2% healing, it actually suffers for utilization of the set. So it's a trade-off, and the devs do a really good job of that, going into a set like this and saying, we're going to give you the option for a recovery set, maintaining the buffs while you're healing. But because you're going to wear this set, you're not going to get increased to your healing effects. Now, you can go ahead, once again, Nern hone things, and that will improve healing without a doubt, or power trait. So no big loss there. But application on buffs, once again, isn't going to scale from weapon damage or anything like that. It's a buff application. So it's just adding duration. Simply that. So one of my viewers yesterday was helping me with this set, and it actually does, add to the tooltip. But for example, if I was to go ahead and throw my igneous weapons, you'll see down here I get the buff for 50 seconds, 50 seconds, and 25 seconds, right? Which are my major sorcerer, major brutality, and minor brutality. Now, for a set like this for a DK healer becomes very, very enticing. Why? Because that minor brutality is something not all the classes offer a party. And for stamina users, that minor brutality, unless you are a DK that has access and can tap into that, that becomes very, very promising for a damage increase. So the only thing this is doing is adding that duration. Because when I go ahead and look inside my skills, right, the igneous weapons is going to apply. Well, let me take off the set. Let me take off one piece. Okay, now we're going to go into the skills. Now, typically, Igneous weapons last for 39.6 seconds, almost 40 seconds, right? So, but when we go into the Earth and Heart and we look at the Mountain Blessing, not the Mountain Blessing, yeah, it is the Mountain Blessing, right? No, I'm in the wrong one. All right, no, I'm here. Right, Minor Brutality, Mountain Blessing. I'm a little tired. So when I go into Mountain Blessing, when I cast an Earth and Heart ability, you and your group members within 30 meters gain Minor Brutality for 20 seconds, right? That increases weapon damage by 5%. By 5%. So that's an increase, that's a boon. That's what they're talking about when you talk about DK healers, the boons they offer the party in its kit. So when I put another set on, so if I cast it, I'm getting almost 20 seconds applied, right? And then when I add the head and I recast, it's going up by 10 seconds. It just saves the healer, time management. That's all it's doing. Same thing with the combat prayer, right? So, that's the big deal here. You're reserving resources with time management with the set. It's not really an overpowering set because of that 2%. Now, if they would have added something like spell damage, that would be a whole different ball game, right? But the devs were smart. They were like, we're going to add 2% to the healing. And you're not getting an added resource pool. So I honestly think a set like this is going to do really well. I mean, it's not going to get nerfed, in my opinion. Good morning. Would this carry over the shield for my Sword Killer to my pets? Yes. Well, any type of shield system, it's going to carry. Because your shield system is going to affect you and your pet. And that's the nice thing about this, this set. So let's take this off for a minute. And let's use, like, for example, my Igneous Shield. Now, my Igneous Shield usually lasts for only 3 seconds, right? Meaning the set that adds buffs adds shields by 40%, right? So, as you guys could see, when I hit this, my shield, I'm getting 6 seconds. Now, when I add the set piece, and I cast again, now I'm getting 10. So it's not, like, literally it goes from 6 to 10. That's 40%. We know that. That's 4 seconds added to the effect. Now, will that go ahead and, add a value, Mourning Rock, will that add a value to the effect itself? No, not at all. It doesn't change how much Igneous Shields is going to, shield me for. It's not, but guess what it does do? It's going to apply the major mending too. So if I go ahead and I take off the set piece, right? I cast this, I go into my character sheets for my major mending. Hold on. It's already gone. See? 2 seconds of major mending. 2 seconds. How long the buffs and shields last, not how strong they are. Right, it doesn't. So I can only get 2 seconds of major mending. Only 2, so I get only 1 cast with it, right? I have to be quick on my next follow-up heal. Now with the guidance, it's going to give me another second. Only 1 second. That's a 40% increase. That's not overpowered. It's not overpowered at all. It gives me a 1 second added duration to my major mending buff. So that is why I kind of like this setup. And then you can use other sets that would apply minor mending, so on and so forth. For the Warden, this set's going to be really pretty, because of those buffs. Every healer class gives some sort of buffs. But not every healer is going to benefit as good with the set. Wardens will be really strong with this set. And DKs, this is a DK set's dream come true. Nightblades, not so much. Nightblades don't offer a lot of buffs. Nightblades deal damage to heal. So that's one of the, no problem, Mustang. That's what's really nice. It doesn't modify the strength of anything, adds duration. So I don't anticipate this set to be getting nerfed by any means whatsoever. The set was really done well, and it's incentivizing players to go back into dungeons to acquire a set like this. Becomes like a new spell power cure. Now, essentially, Templars would benefit from a set like this, but it's going to be really dependent on how they lay out their gear in rotation to maximize the gear's performance on a Templar versus the DK. The DK's abilities apply the effects as it's going throughout. It doesn't have to change up anything in its rotation to benefit from this set. Templars are going to be a little different on that aspect because its underlining passives is a trigger effect more than a buff within itself. So, like I said, Wardens and DKs are really going to look strong on this. Sorks with self-dependent buffs are going to be sitting pretty. But this is a set I wouldn't necessarily want to go ahead and say, oh, is this going to be an optional set for my Sorcerer? Versus other sets, it's debatable. So, that's kind of the nice aspect. This one set is not going to apply to all healers in every situation. Put that set on a DK healer. That's what this is. This set is more or less set up to say, we're adding it to the DK. Wardens are going to sit pretty with this set. Templar, there has to be a lot of adjustments to really kind of benefit the set a lot better. Why? It's because of the way the buffs are lined out for the class. It's just simply that easy. So, Nightblade would never want this set. I would never want to set on my Nightblade healer. Why? Because I deal damage. I don't want to sacrifice a lot of my damaging effects for a set that's going to essentially bring down my healing. So a set like this wouldn't be so much beneficial on the Nightblade healer. The devs, once again, do a great job, and it's up to content creators to really understand how a set like this is utilized. Is this what they're going to call a BIS set? Most likely. Unfortunately, it's not. It's not going to be a BIS set. Why? Because BIS applies to every class of that role in every scenario. And unfortunately, not every class healer is going to have the perks of a set like this. But once again, the devs did a great job. It goes ahead and allows players to want to do the dungeon for a new healing set. It's been long overdue that we have a set like this that we can work with. And it's going to be like that. It's going to be a perk. But now you're going to see a lot of dungeons asking, do we have this type of healer for that set bonus to add the durated effect? Really nice. Really nice job. Really nice job, Zoss. I'm really happy with this. And like I said, I'm not anticipating any nerf. It's not overpowered by any means. It's not. It's a really great set. I got to play with it. Love it. Love the set. It just basically is just like I'm sacrificing, my bonus heal for added duration, be able to reserve resources. That's all it did. And at the end of the day, I was happy. Really happy with this setup. Like I said, Wardens, though, because of that, Templars will benefit from the set. Don't get me wrong. But, everything in their kit and their rotation is going to be more dependent. It's going to come more natural for the DK. And Warden, too. Warden, with those applied effects. Warden and DK, a set like this is a dream. It's just the way it is. And I wish I could say like my Sork and my Nightblade would have the same benefits, but they'll get it, but it's not going to be as useful. Because a set like Habit for a Sork becomes a lot more, appealing given the fact that minor mending is applied. So Warhorn will last longer out. Any type of major buff or minor buff will apply. Now, it will not add the duration to Spell Power Cure. So if anybody's asking, would a set like this add the duration to the Spell Power Cure? No, because it's not a major or a minor buff. It has to be specifically major or minor buff. And Spell Power Cure is an affected buff. It's not a major or minor buff. It doesn't give you major sorcery, minor sorcery. It gives you added spell and weapon damage. It's its own individualized buff. So a set like this will not increase the duration of Spell Power Cure. That's why I said it's not overpowered. It's really, really great. The devs did a great job. Kudos, man. Kudos, 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 and kudos. But I wanted to give just my, upfront, evaluation on the set. A lot of, like, the DK healer in Warden. Great. Templar, going to benefit from it. It will. But Nightblade and Sork healers, I wouldn't necessarily push the bounds to offset your build configurations for a set like this, given the fact that now minor intellect. That is funny because the sorcerers do apply minor intellect to a party member, and that minor intellect buff from the shield system would be affected by a set like this. So I'm not dismissing it. So don't get me wrong. Don't get me twisted. I'm not saying Sorks and Nightblades can't use this set. It's just harder for those classes to benefit and reap the benefits of a set like this. Uncapping AoE target limit was a mistake, though. PvP, that is going to cause AoE ultimate stacking big time, just like it was at release. Yeah, it'll be kind of interesting, though. I think it speeds up gameplay. That's what I'm anticipating, Rock. So I'm just, PvP gameplay is becoming a little staggering, a little stagnant at times. There's like, points where you can't get a push and shove for nothing. So I think that's what they're trying to do. Maybe they'll bring back Fang Rush. I really hope. I'm really hoping that catches Fang Rush's eye. So we'll see. We'll see. Alright, guys. So here it is. Said and done. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get off. I'll be taking a small break. And I'll get on my normal platform and we'll do some stuff. The old stack bat swarms bottleneck, right? It'll be back. And of course, that's the big deal, It's trying to, well, it's got to do something, But it's funny because status effects now and caps are, kind of the way they line with each other. We would talk about that last night. What's going to be the aftermath between the applied status effects, the immunity, right? And then on top of it, the cap. Can you back bar that set? Yeah. So if I wanted to use a back bar set, I'd have to make sure my buffs would be applied. So let me get into that. That's a really good question. I'm actually glad you brought that up, Elements. So let's say I still wanted to use Sentinel. Sentinel is a set that I primarily use on a lot of healers. Why? Because I know Shars have a CD. Alright? So Sentinel has become kind of like my to-go-to set. So let's say I was going to use, I wanted to stay with a light, but I needed that heavy shoulders, right? I'm going to use, hold on, I need to get a sword and board of Spell Power Cure. Okay. No, of the javelins. So sword and I think I do have the board. Okay. So I want to keep the Spell Power Cure Resto Staff. I want to use a Spell Power Cure Sword to keep my bonus. I'm going to then slot the Javelin's Shield. I'm going to then apply the monster set. Okay. Now, as you guys can see, the Javelin is on this side, and we do have the 5-piece of the Spell Power Cure. When I go to the Resto side, the Spell Power Cure will remain static, right? But the Javelins will not. Why? Because that's shield. That's a really good point because you can maintain a monster set and have the applied buffs applied on the back bar. So here's my buff, right? And I can apply that buff. The only problem with doing that is one of the primary buffs that benefits the new set is the Combat Prayer with the Minor Berserk. So you're only going to get the 8 seconds on that Minor Berserk, right? If you backbar it. If you backbar that set, you're only going to get the 8 seconds, where if you were using it as a static along with, right? Now when we go back into the skills again, now we're getting 11.2. So that's going to be a call for you. Do you backbar the set or do you keep it static with the other set? Do that 12k DPS take set. I'm going to actually be testing a lot of these other sets. I just wanted to do a very in-depth review of the new healing set. That 12k take set will double Mystic's DPS. But yeah, so that becomes the question. You know, do you take combat, do you backbar it or do you keep it static? That's going to be a completely individualized scenario. Now keep in mind, we discussed the importance of the major mending buff, right? So it will add duration to major mending, especially on those nice heavy attacks, right? So you do a heavy attack rotation, you get major mending. That's in any class. So a set like I said, a set like this benefits not only those effects, but the other effects as well. But yeah, honestly, it's just going to be a really hard call. You know, couple of the things that I'm really hoping they do with DK Healer in the future is separate the shield system, because as is, the DK tanks and DK healers both use Igneous Shield. There's nothing separating that between the other ones, because the other shield system, it doesn't really benefit the tanking so much. And DPS, what DPS really, slots shield system, unless you're doing like something like VMA. So that to me is kind of like, okay, well, they should be really kind of, isolating that shield system between the two classes. All right, I'll short stop in. Got to go. Busy day. We'll be back later, of course, as long as Mystic is streaming. Have a good one. Thank you, Sylvia. Have a good one. So let me go ahead and we'll do a morph option here. And I want to kind of get into this from a standpoint of the shield system. Okay, Fragmented Shield is a great ability, right? And it returns Magicka. But for a tank, it's like, I feel like it's not really what. Tanks don't care about dealing damage. Neither do healers. DPS does. And for something like, VMA, this is a great shield system. It really is. Because you can shield an effect, and now you're returning the damage. Right? Great. It's a great system for something like that. Especially in PvP, that becomes a really good situation. What honestly I think that needs to happen, you'll notice the values, your own damage shield absorbs 200 more. Where this one is the same thing. So honestly, I feel like Fragmented Shell should have a higher, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, personal shield, the 200 should be applied to Fragmented. Take away the 200 bonus from this effect, and then apply an increased damage of shield system. That one, basically it's like this. Igneous would scale max Magicka, Fragmented would scale max health. Because they're both scale max health at the moment, is what I'm saying. So the reason you want maybe the healer to do that, essentially because you're getting the major mending and you're applying the shield to your party members. It makes more sense. And as many players in Radius can use synergy. Yeah, right. And I already did that yesterday. I was checking it out, and it was kind of interesting because, there is a time, window associated with synergies now. But it is cool because now targeting them isn't so bad. That was the problem, was the highlighting system. How the targeting system worked prior to this update. So targeting systems become a lot cleaner which was really cool when I was rolling dungeons and playing around with synergy. So targeting system has become so much cleaner. And I really like that. I think the devs did a great job with the synergy system. It was really awesome. So I'm saying in future, not anytime soon, to separate the two, Frag should be scaled max health. Ignis should scale max magicka for its shield applied effect. That's it. You know, and I would take the 200 bonus and apply it to Frag and keep it out of the Ignis, because the Ignis are getting major mending. So that offsets that value. It'll make you say, do I want the extra healing, or do I want the added, like the Sorks does? In my opinion. But hey, whatever. Whatever. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to get on my regular platform. But I really just wanted to do a review for this and kind of, you know, whatever. Building a hybrid Templar for PvP soon. Great. Congratulations, Strikes. I hope it works out for you, man. A lot of options, man. I hope it works out for you. But I'm going to take a small break, and I hope a lot of people realize what this set offers. I think this set is long overdue. I think it's a step in the right direction, once again, to bring healers and give them something to push for, because this set will go across the board all the way to endgame. All the way to endgame, this set will. But it's going to really dramatically affect each healing type and build differently depending on configurations. Will it replace a set like Spell Power Cure? No, unfortunately it won't. But to pair up with Spell Power Cure as maybe a secondary or a third set for a healer depending on situations, scenarios, this is a set that's well worth it. Thank you, Zos. It's a great set, and I don't look for it to get nerfed anytime soon. I anticipate it to go live as is, because it doesn't do anything to those major or minor buffs. It just adds duration, you know, frees up resources, and you know, rightfully so, because you're losing your resource pool with this set is a little dismal. That affects your healing as well. So there you guys have it, Mr. Craven, ESO Daily. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.